the average credit card user is losing over $1,300 a year to one single mistake. Not from buying too much stuff, not from a bad month. From one habit that feels completely normal, and your bank is counting on you never noticing it. Stick around, because by the end of this video, I'm going to tell you exactly which one of these 7 mistakes you're making right now, and the simple fix that costs you nothing. If you have a credit card, whether you got it last month or you've had one for 20 years, this video is for you. Credit cards aren't evil. Used right, they build your credit score, protect your purchases, and can even pay you back in cash and points. Used wrong, they quietly drain your money for years without you ever realizing it. So today we're breaking down the 7 biggest credit card mistakes people make with real numbers, real examples, and the exact fix for each one. No jargon, no fluff, just what to do starting today. Let's get into it. Here's the mistake that's costing people the most money, and it's the one I mentioned in the intro. You get your statement. It says minimum payment due, $35. You pay it. Feels responsible, right? You didn't miss a payment. Here's the problem. Credit cards charge interest on whatever balance is left over, and the average credit card interest rate right now is over 20% a year. If you owe $5,000 and only pay the minimum, you could be paying for over 15 years and hand the credit card company more than $7,000 in interest alone. That's more than the original debt. Always pay more than the minimum. Ideally, the full statement balance every month. If you can't pay it all, pay as much as you possibly can. Even an extra $50 a month can cut years off your payoff time. This one feels logical, but quietly backfires. You stop using an old card, so you call up and cancel it to clean up your wallet. Makes sense, right? Except closing that card can actually hurt your credit score in 2 ways. First, it shortens your credit history. And the length of your credit history matters to your score. Second, it lowers your total available credit, which raises something called your utilization ratio. We'll talk about that next, but just know, closing cards can make your score drop, sometimes 20 to 40 points almost overnight. Instead of closing an old card, just put one small recurring charge on it, like a streaming subscription, and set it to autopay. The card stays active, your history stays intact, and you don't pay a cent in interest. Quick rehook before we go further. This next mistake is the one that quietly tanks more credit scores than missed payments do. Most people have never even heard of it. It's called your credit utilization ratio, a fancy way of saying how much of your available credit you're actually using. Let's say you have a $10,000 credit limit and you're carrying a $4,000 balance. That's 40% utilization. Lenders generally want to see that number under 30% and ideally under 10%. Go over that and your score can drop even if you've never missed a single payment. Try to keep your balance below 30% of your limit on every card, not just your overall limit. If you're close to the edge, pay down the balance before the statement closes, not just before the due date. That timing matters more than most people realize. Here's an honest one. Your credit limit is not extra income. It's not a bonus. It's a number a bank picked based on math, not based on what you can actually afford. I've seen people get a $15,000 limit and treat it like a green light to spend $15,000. Then the bill comes, and suddenly they're stuck paying interest on a couch, a vacation, and a phone they bought 6 months ago, all at the same time. Before you swipe, ask yourself one question. Could I pay this off in cash right now if I had to? If the answer is no, that purchase probably shouldn't go on the card yet. Let's pause for a second because this mistake trips up even people who are usually careful with money. Every time you apply for a new credit card, the lender does what's called a hard inquiry on your credit report. One inquiry isn't a big deal, it might cost you a few points. But apply for 4 or 5 cards in a short window because you're chasing sign-up bonuses, and lenders start to see you as a risk. It can also drop the average age of your accounts, which, like we talked about, affects your score too. Space out new card applications by at least 6 months unless you have a specific, planned reason. Chasing every bonus that pops up in your feed usually costs you more in score damage than the bonus is worth. This is the one almost nobody explains properly, and it's where a lot of responsible people accidentally pay interest they didn't need to. Most credit cards have something called a grace period, usually around 21 to 25 days after your statement closes. If you pay your full statement balance within that window, you pay zero interest. Zero. But the moment you carry even a small balance past that period, interest can start applying to new purchases immediately, not just the leftover balance. A lot of people assume they pay their card off eventually, so they're fine. But if you're consistently carrying any balance past that grace period, you might be paying interest every single month without realizing it. Know your statement closing date, not just your due date. Pay the full balance before the statement closes if you can, and you'll almost always dodge interest completely. Last one, and honestly, this is the trap that gets even smart people. Credit card rewards, cashback, points, miles feel like free money. And if you pay your balance off in full every month, they basically are. But if you're carrying a balance and still chasing 2% cash back, you're losing. Think about it. You might earn $40 in cash back over a year on a card, but pay $600 in interest because you carried a balance. That's not a reward, that's the bank handing you a small thank you gift for losing way more money to them. Rewards are only a win if you pay in full every month. If you're carrying debt, ignore the points completely and focus 100% on paying that balance down first. The points can wait. The interest won't. Let's run through it fast. Pay more than the minimum. Don't close old cards, keep them active instead. Watch your utilization ratio and stay under 30%. Your credit limit isn't your money. Don't apply for too many cards too fast. Know your grace period and statement date. And rewards only matter if you're not carrying a balance. Any one of these, fixed today, can save you hundreds, sometimes thousands, over the next few years. Not from earning more money, just from stopping money from quietly leaking out the side. If this video helped you catch even one mistake you're making right now, do me a favor and hit subscribe. I break down stuff like this every week. No fluff, just the actual numbers and the actual fix. And if you want to go even further, I made a video on exactly how to raise your credit score as fast as possible, even if you're starting from a low number. It's right here. Go watch that one next. I'll see you in the next video.